From the moment he was born, my little brother was my light, my hope. I wanted to protect him from the darkness of our clan, from the cruelty of this world. But to protect him, I had to become his enemy and my heaviest burden. This is the story of two brothers, a bond forged in pain, in hatred, in sacrifice. It's the story of how I betrayed him to save him, and how he saved himself to honor me.
I was born into a legacy of power and pride, a member of the Uchiha clan. They called us a noble family, the keepers of the Sharingan. But behind closed doors, that legacy was a curse. The weight of it, even as a child, I could feel it pressing down on me. But none of that mattered back then, because back then, I had him. He was my hero, my brother, my everything. To me, he wasn't just my older brother. He was a hero, someone who could do no wrong. I spent my days chasing after him, trying to live up to him. But no matter how hard I tried, I could never close the gap. And yet, he always made time for me, always smiled, always promised he'd be there. But then, he took it all away. My family, my home, everything that night. When I looked into his eyes, I didn't see my brother. I saw a monster, and he told me,
"My foolish little brother, if you wish to kill me one day, in hate and revenge, surviving in such an unsightly manner as this, by all means flee. Cling to your wretched life. And then one day, when you possess the same eyes, come back and face me."
So I vowed I would kill him. I would end the man who destroyed everything I loved. But no matter how much I hated him, I couldn't forget the brother he used to be. The one who smiled at me, the one who promised to always be there. I didn't understand it then, but my life became about him, about vengeance, about finding out why.
Every step I took was for him. Every choice, every sacrifice. For Sasuke. But to save him, I had to become his enemy. I had to make him hate me.
He took everything from me, my family, my future, my happiness. And then he told me to hate him, told me to grow strong through my pain, as if the suffering was my purpose.
The love I had for him was my strength, but it was also my curse, because that love demanded I destroy everything he held dear.
But no matter how much I hated him, no matter how much I told myself I wanted him dead, I couldn't let go of the brother I once knew.
To protect him, I had to become the monster in his eyes, the one he could use to sharpen his blade, to become strong enough to survive this cruel world.
I told myself it was revenge, that it was justice. But deep down, I just wanted to understand, to know why he chose to destroy everything I loved.
Our bond was forged in love,
and twisted by hatred.
But it could never be broken.
My brother's betrayal wasn't just mine to bear. It shaped how I saw everyone. I couldn't trust them. I couldn't rely on them. How could I, when the one person I loved most had turned into the one I hated most? Naruto, Sakura, they all tried to understand me, tried to save me, but how could they? They didn't know my pain. They didn't see what I saw. They didn't lose what I lost.
I knew that my actions would isolate him, that the hatred I left behind would close his heart to others, but it was the only way to keep him safe.
Naruto wouldn't stop chasing me. He wouldn't stop calling me his friend. But a friend wouldn't stand in my way. A friend wouldn't try to stop me from avenging my family.
But even in his anger, I saw it. Sasuke's heart hadn't closed completely. He pushed them away, but he never truly let them go.
Even when I turned my back on them, a part of me wished they would keep chasing me. Because if they did, maybe I wasn't as alone as I thought.
From the time I was a child, I sought peace. But the world I lived in was ruled by conflict, war, power, blood. They shaped everything, even my clan, even me. I thought I could change it, that with Shisui by my side, we could find another way. But dreams are fragile, and hope is fleeting. When Shisui fell, I made my choice. I became the weapon of Konoha, and the traitor of my clan. My father called me his pride, my mother, her son. But I knew the truth. I was neither. I sacrificed my name, my honor, my soul. To protect the village, to protect Sasuke, I left everything behind that night. My family, my village, the life I once dreamed of, and I became a ghost. I found unexpected bonds. Kisame, in his quiet loyalty, understood what it meant to carry a burden. He spoke little of his past, and I spoke even less of mine. But in our silence, we understood each other. Naruto reminded me of the boy I once was, the one who believed in peace, in protecting others at all costs. I saw in him a strength I had long since abandoned, a hope I could never have again. Every choice I made was to protect them, my brother, my village, even at the cost of myself. But the price I paid was living a life in the shadows, with no one truly knowing who I was.
I spent my life chasing him. The brother I loved, and the man I hated. Every step I took, every ounce of strength I gained, it was all for this moment, to end him, to make him pay. But as I stood before him, as I looked into his eyes, I couldn't understand. Why did his gaze still feel so familiar? So kind? And then he was gone. Just like that. No answers, no apologies, just silence. The silence of a man I had hated for so long, but didn't understand. He killed them to save me. He bore the hatred of the world, for me, and I was too blind to see it. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. The hatred I carried, the strength I gained, it was all built on a foundation I couldn't see. And now, I could never tell him, never ask him why, never say, I'm sorry. He lived as my enemy, but in truth, he was my greatest protector. And now, all I have left of him is the path he set me on.
In the moments after I fell, he was free, or so he thought. Free of the anger, free of the hatred he had built his life around. But that freedom was not what he expected. He thought he would find peace, that the burden would be lifted. But instead, all he found was emptiness.
I spent my entire life chasing revenge, believing that if I killed him, I would finally feel something, satisfaction, closure. But when the moment came, when his life slipped away in front of me, all I felt was confusion, like everything I had fought for didn't matter anymore. I hated him for so long, for the pain he caused. I never once wondered if he was doing this for me, to protect me from something worse. And yet, in the end, all those I left behind still reached out. Naruto, Sakura, they still called me a friend. But what was I supposed to say to them? How could I face them after everything I'd done? I didn't understand it then. The love Itachi had for me, the sacrifice he made. All I saw was the killer, the man who took everything from me. But now, looking back, I realize how wrong I was. He was the one who gave me a future, the one who showed me how to survive. And yet, I resented him for it. I hated him for the very thing that made me who I am. What's left for me now? I've lost everything. Itachi is gone. My clan is gone. And now all I have is this endless cycle of vengeance, a never-ending journey that has no true destination.
At the time, the hawk believed revenge would free him, but it only locked him in a cage. My little crow had to find his own way, to understand who he was without me, without the past, without the hate. I had been gone. My life had ended. My purpose had been fulfilled, or so I thought. But in the blink of an eye, I was pulled from that peace, resurrected by the hands of others. What had once been my death, my final act, now felt like a cruel joke.
He had given his life to protect me, to protect the village. His death had been his choice, his burden to bear. But now, he was nothing more than a crow on strings, forced back into existence for the selfish whims of others.
I had lived my life in secrecy, under the weight of a burden I alone bore. I did what needed to be done, what I believed to be right. But in the end, what had I truly sacrificed? My life? My soul? Or my very essence as a brother, as a man? The world would never understand. They could never see the truth. I had chosen to carry the weight of 1,000 souls, yet I was the one who had been judged the monster. My love for my brother, my sacrifice for the village, it would never be enough. I had once told him to hate me, to grow stronger from that hatred. But I wonder now, was that truly my choice to make? Was I right to leave him with only anger, to make him fight this endless cycle of vengeance? Was it fair to him? I had always seen myself as the one who would end it all, to carry the weight of my sins, to protect my brother by becoming the villain. But now, as I stand here once more, I am no longer certain. I did what I thought was necessary, but the cost, was it too high? I thought that dying would release me from my choices, but now I see. Death was never an escape. It was only the beginning of a deeper consequence. My actions, my love, my sacrifice, they would live on in him. I lived a life of duty, of sacrifice. But in the end, I was just a man who made choices. I can only hope that in time, Sasuke will understand that. The man I was never the man he thought. I was a prodigy, a genius of the Uchiha clan. From the moment I could hold a kunai, the world looked at me with expectation, and I met it without question. I excelled in everything I did, but somewhere along the way, I forgot what it meant to be a child. I grew up too fast, shouldering responsibilities that no one else could see. To protect the village, to protect peace. I thought that was my purpose.
I was the opposite of you, a shadow to your brilliance. I wasn't the genius. I wasn't the heir everyone admired. I was just your little brother. No matter how hard I worked, no matter how much I trained, You were always ahead of me. No matter how large of a hawk I wanted to be, you would always see me as your little crow. And I admired you for it. I thought if I followed in your footsteps, I'd be just like you one day. But that was a lie, wasn't it? You were never the person I thought you were.
I told myself I was doing the right thing. That by taking on the sins of the Uchiha, I could save you from their fate. But the truth is, Sasuke, I was...
After you were gone, I told myself I'd become stronger, that I'd surpass you. But every step I took only brought me closer to becoming the very thing I hated. I thought I could live with the hatred, that it would make me stronger, but it didn't. It hollowed me out.
In the Akatsuki, I watched the world from the shadows. I played my role, even as it ate away at me. I saw the darkness in others, their hatred, their ambition, and I wondered if I was any different. But I told myself it didn't matter. As long as you were safe, as long as you lived, I could bear the burden, even if it meant losing myself in the process.
And then you came back. Even after everything, you didn't just give me the answers I was searching for. You gave me a choice. For the first time, I saw who you really were. Not the monster I hated, not the genius I envied. Just my brother, a man who gave up everything for me.
Even then, I knew I wouldn't see the end of your journey. I'd already made my peace with that, but I hoped that one day you'd find what I couldn't, that you'd find a way to live without the chains of our past. Live for the future.
And I'm trying, Itachi. I don't know if I'll ever escape the shadow of what we were, of what you did, but I'll keep walking. For you. For the family we lost. And maybe for myself. I'll make it my own.
Live
I'll make it my
for the
own.
future.
Many years have passed. I've walked many roads. Roads that led me down dark paths. In repaying my debts to the Hidden Leaf, I've embarked on a journey to uncover the truths in the world. My world. For a long time, his journey was my obsession. But what if Itachi's journey was something I can never truly understand? Something we could never truly understand. I'll never know for sure. How could I? Itachi never let anyone see the truth. Never let anyone see how much it hurt him. I don't know. After everything I went through, after all the pain, I think maybe Itachi never had a choice. He didn't have the luxury of peace. He couldn't be free. His life, the life he lived, was a sacrifice. For me, for Konoha, for everyone. When he came back, when Itachi was brought back to life, I saw him again, but it wasn't the same. He was different, distant. The brother I fought so hard to destroy was a stranger to me. He didn't show the pain I expected him to. Maybe, in those final moments, he was at peace with his choices. Maybe that was the only way he could live with it all. I thought I'd get closure when I saw him again. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that Itachi's life was never about closure. It was about sacrifice. And the cost of that sacrifice was everything. It wasn't just the loss of his family, it was the loss of his own future. I'll never fully understand what Itachi went through, what it felt like to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders, what it felt like to lose everything. But I can at least try to honor what he did, what he sacrificed, his legacy. I'll carry that forward. My journey is my own now, but I'll never forget Itachi. He was my brother, and his pain was the foundation of the life I have today. I just hope he found peace in the end, even if it was only for a moment. I may never know, but I've made my peace with him. The past is behind me now, and all I can do is move forward. I've learned too much from my brother to let that go to waste, and I will carry his legacy, not in hatred, but in understanding. It's my turn now to build the future, with the lessons of the past, but without its chains.